Well, good evening. We are live and it's 6 o'clock, so we will get going with our budget meeting. Welcome to all of you to this meeting. We have received a message from Councilman Emerson. He is in an activity with his daughter and he will try to make it as soon as he can. And at this point in time, we call the meeting to order. There is no formality of roll call or anything like that. I'm welcoming all of you and especially the public, and I will pass it on to the city manager for his remarks.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, we're going to present some basic information regarding to the budget, and providing that will be Nick Hawkins. The purpose tonight, obviously, is to hear from the public. This is not the only opportunity the public will have to provide us their feedback, but it is our first real opportunity for that. So we look forward to hearing what kind of comments they have, and then obviously the feedback that we get will allow us to look at what types of possibilities in the future as we craft our budget, what those future input will take us.
Thank you very much. Now we go over to Nick.
Well, good evening. My name is Nick Hawkins. I'm the Budget and Performance Manager. Just wanted to start off by giving a few facts about the 2018 adopted budget. And so, to start off, we have a $318 million operating budget that's spread across 35 different funding sources. The main one being the general fund, which is approximately a third of the budget. Revenues for that coming from sales tax, property tax, franchise fees, and other fees and fines. About 2/3 of those expenditures go to public safety, so that's our police, fire, and municipal court departments. Other funds that we have include our utilities funds, which are about include our water, wastewater, and stormwater. That's about 20% of our total budget. And then we also have a variety of dedicated sales taxes for streets, special districts, as well as debt and capital funds. The council earlier this month passed the 2019 budget priorities. Those include investing in infrastructure, continuing a commitment to public safety, continuing a commitment to developing neighborhoods, strategic investments towards quality of life, and improving fiscal sustainability. Just looking at the calendar over the next month or so will be a lot of internal discussion amongst departments. Departments are actually finalizing their budgets this week, and we'll have a lot of conversation over the next month putting together the proposed budget, working with city manager, the council, and departments to present a budget to the public in late May or early June. And then in June, we'll really hit it hard with a couple of public work sessions on the budget starting June 16th, a little bit more work in July, and then we'll adopt a budget in mid-August. So as the city manager mentioned, we've utilized a number of different engagements. We've had 2 open houses for our capital improvement plan, as well as a budget open house in mid-March. Tonight is kind of the traditional public engagement event on the budget, the public hearing where we get a chance to hear from the public. We've also, throughout March, have had a online survey that you can get to on topeka.org/budget. It asks a couple questions, has you rank what your top priority is of those ones that I mentioned before. We've had close to 200 responses on that, and so far investing in infrastructure has received the most votes, followed by community development and public safety. Another question that we ask on there, we also ask, in order to pay for these priorities, what would you support receiving less funding for? And there's a large mix of responses that we've received from that, from mentioning all different types of things like downtown investment and other opportunities. But I think that's an interesting one from our perspective to see, in order to pay for these priorities, what would you support not including there? So, to the council, we are always open from our standpoint and coming up with different ways to engage the community. And again, I think tonight is one of the more traditional routes, but we are always open to finding the most effective way to engage the community.
Thank you, Nick. Council members, I know that we're here on a capacity of listening, but anything that you would like to say to the constituents that are here ready to provide their support or their feedback? Okay, everybody seems to be, Councilwoman Ortiz.
Thank you. Can we get a schedule of what you just said, June 16th and all of that, emailed to us?
Absolutely. I will email that out to the body so that, yeah.
So that we can get it on our calendar, make sure.
All right,
I think,
going to the public.
yep.
All right, so at this point in time, Brenda's going to have a little timer that she has next to her, very similar to the council meeting. The only thing that we would request is that as you come and approach the body with your comments with regards to your budget, speak on the microphone, please identify yourself, and you're more than welcome to start speaking up.
Nobody moved, so I thought I would just jump up here. No pun intended. Good evening. My name is Shanae Holman. I'm the lead organizer for the Topeka Jump organization. I know that most of you are in one form or fashion familiar with us. And I don't know if we have to say our address and all that, but I just moved like 7 days ago, and I'm in Councilmember Lesser's district now. And I just wanted to speak on behalf of the families and the individuals that I do represent as the organizer of JUMP, and of course on behalf of myself and my own interests. I do appreciate the work that you guys do every day. I know that it's a tough job to get up here and just determine all the different things and priorities that you have to deal with, so I appreciate that. As you know, one of the largest interests we've had, particularly within the city of Topeka, is around affordable housing. And so I just want to speak to that. You don't see a whole bunch of yellow shirts here tonight, but I hope that the gathering that we have on Monday does count as a part of taking in consideration from public comment. And so we're organizing our voice on Monday night in order to see some work done in the area of affordable housing, particularly as a priority in the budget. You have a very large budget, so it's a drop in the bucket. Still hard to come up with, but a drop in the bucket. A few $1 million a year to pinch off to start getting at our neighborhoods and to start working at how we can do some more rehabilitation and generating more housing for low-income families. A number of you we've met with over the years, and I think we do agree that there's a need. And while this may not be a normal budget item for the governing body all of the time, at this time in the history of our city, we just believe that it's time to set some time aside and to deal with it. And much like you did several years ago with the streets, really kind of dedicating your attention to that, I think you should continue dealing with the streets, absolutely. It's my second priority in the survey. But this, I just want to say, on behalf of Topeka Jump, would be a good time to start thinking about how can we deal with the affordable housing crisis? What can we pinch back little by little to really make an impact? And so I'm here this evening on behalf of the organization and myself to say we would like to see that as a priority in the upcoming budgets. By the way, I'm also in the best class ever for Leadership Greater Topeka 2018. And it has been an amazing program, very fun. Love the folks that I'm in the class with. And I think that probably on some level, many of you can say, we've got a passionate group. And we communicate passionately. We're here. This is our home. So we always come with the best intentions to make sure that we address the issues that vulnerable populations are affected by. It's our #1 priority, and so we'll always be before you in those efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person who would like to speak? Don't be shy. As you see, there's no...
Hi, my name is Mary Akerstrom. It's a little odd to not have the formality of being called up to speak. Still learning. I have a few questions about the police budget, and as it was mentioned, all the department budgets aren't in yet. But I'm hoping that there will be money to increase training with the police department. Our citizens group a while back learned that there's only a certain percentage of officers that have received crisis intervention training, and it would be great if that could become 100% of our officers could receive that training. And I know training and classes take money. We'd also like to see our police department join the Police Executives Research Forum, which would be about $1,500 a year for the police chief and about a handful of professionals. They could learn some great training and skills and increase their non-lethal use of force training. I'd also like to see an increase in the bicycle patrol, because I feel that that would reduce our fuel costs as far as driving police cars around town and cruisers. The bicycle patrol is kind of a friendly way for the police to be in our neighborhoods, and it also keeps the air clean, so it'll meet that sustainability goal at the same time as reducing some neighborhood worries about violence from police officers. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Marge, would you like to speak?
Well, I hadn't made plans to speak, but thank you. It's Marge Ahrens. And two things that come to my mind that I've spoken before about in the last few months. The question is, of course, where to get the money if people are complaining so much about the streets. And the two things that I worry over are the TIF we gave for the 29th and Fairlawn Wheatland development. And I don't really know what it is costing the city in lost sales and property taxes over 23 years. And I don't know if there's any room to go into that and examine it, or if it's all a done deal. So I'm looking for money. And I did express to you before that I do know that we have given property tax exemptions and sales tax exemptions to numbers of businesses, not just nonprofits, not just, I think there are 500 churches in our community, not just the churches, not the other nonprofits, but others who are now getting big tax breaks at other levels. And so that's where I would go for that money, because of the imposition of sales tax on those with limited income. And thanks, that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Marge. Is there anybody else, because I see a lot of staff individuals that, from the public, that would like to make some remark to the body with regards to their concerns in the budgetary process?
Hello. Hi, I know I've met a number of you. My name's Madison Sorson, and I'm also here on behalf of Topeka Jump. I am the new associate organizer with the organization. And, you know, Shanae came up a little bit ago and talked about affordable housing as one of our main issues, which a lot of you are familiar with. We've been working on this campaign for 2 years now. And, you know, the data that you all have provided as the city and we have looked into and talked with you all proves that there is a shortage of affordable housing for residents in our community. And we, as JUMP, are really looking for our governing body to really take the lead on this issue. You know, it's very important that housing becomes a serious priority for the city. Seniors in our city really deserve to retire and live comfortably without worrying about being put out of their homes, and to live with dignity. Children, you know, really deserve to know that they're gonna go home to a roof over their head every night. And working families should be able to afford to pay for their basic needs and also provide a house or, you know, apartment for the family to live in. As I said earlier, I'm relatively new to the organization Topeka JUMP, but what I have learned since being here is that the things that we do in our organization, we have a really big following. It's networked, it's calculated, and we have account for everybody that comes to every meeting that we have, including our upcoming Nehemiah Action Assembly, which is gonna be Monday night, like Shanae said, 7 p.m. at Most Pure Heart of Mary. We would love to see you all there as to support for what JUMP is doing to tackle affordable housing and also public transportation in our community. And, you know, we're striving to make the things that I mentioned before, you know, safe and affordable housing a reality for members of our community. And Topeka JUMP, with all of our networked members, we support this governing body and the council's decisions to make a unprecedented shift to make funding affordable housing a priority in the near future of our city. So, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else? Body, it seems like nobody else would like to make comments. I know that this would make for, I think, the shortest meeting in history. So first of all, let me say thank you to the individuals that did come and that did speak. I think it's extremely important. It's not so much about the number of people that show up, it's the fact that your governing body and your staff of the city cares enough about the transparency and the inclusion of all of you in this process that we're making time here tonight to be here. And the fact that all of you were here really means a lot to us. I will see if the council has any closing remarks. Seeing none, I look for a motion for adjournment. A second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you for being here tonight.
We wouldn't have anything on the agenda.